Welcome to Marifado Research. Can ancient mysteries birthed by Cushitic Kamitic spiritual practices be the best for us? Here is the answer. As long as you keep your will in your car until death. Now, let's ask the question, which one is the best for you here? This shown here. What about Islam? Islam teaches that real happiness is gained after death in heavenly paradise. In Quran 15:105, it says, those who attain to faith and do righteous deeds, the gardens of paradise will be there to welcome them. Immediately, another verse says, fight those who believe not in Allah, nor in the last day, nor forbid that which has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, and those who acknowledge not the religion of truth, Islam, among the people of the scriptures, Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Our ancestors never taught this. This is not the best for us. This is the religion of violence and war. Yet at the same time, they are very hypocritical. They claim that they are monotheistic, and at the same time, they revere a black stone which is found in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca, and also laugh at others as grave worshippers or idol worshippers, while themselves have got an idol and many other idols that they revere, including the Quran, including the Prophet, including their traditions. Our ancestors understood the power or symbols and representations of abstract realities, which are not easily conceptualized by the physical brain. Even today, we use the alphabet they developed from what are called idols by others that have the same script that they use to write their holy books. If we followed them and call those everything like this idolatry, even driving a car would be a disaster. There would be no mathematics, there would be no scientific notation or scientific knowledge or machine language. So, Islam is not the best for us. Our ancient mysteries are the best because we do not hide or pretend. We worship divinities. We revere our ancestors, and we infuse the best of our abilities in the car and empower the self. This is what we are taught to become awake nehast, to experience the state of conscious awareness of self and awareness of your divine connection and need. That's how you empower your car. You have to forego religions that enslaves and colonized you or colonized your ancestors, captured them and chained them and destroyed all our continent. That's Islam did all that. They hate melanin dominant culture, but they're very subtle about it. They cover it with a fake plastic smile. How can a normal melanin dominant human being say Islam is their religion and is the best for them? If you consider the evils that this religion has done, the 1,400-year slave and colonization all over Africa. Arab Islamic slave trade is the oldest and genocidal. This is the map that you should think about. All these areas, except a little bit of here, but all these areas were affected and destroyed by white Arabs and our sellout brothers and sisters. What about being a Buddhist? They tell us that Buddhism is not a religion, it's a way of life. Every kind of people can practice and accept it. But we know that we were taught that if you neglect your history, you shouldn't complain when other races steal it and embrace it and rebrand it. We know that Buddhism or concepts of Buddhism started in ancient Hamid in Africa. Buddhism teaches that one is in this life to escape through stopping reincarnation. That's a fallacy. That's false. Buddhism is an escapist philosophy, no different than the purpose of recreational drugs. Cushitic Kemetic says that this is impossible to escape your life because a truly enlightened human being or person or individual returns to the earth in order to save the rest of mankind, because we are all one. This is what we know. It would seem, said Sheikh Anta Diop in his book, The African Origins of Civilization, that Buddha was an Egyptian priest chased from Memphis by the persecution of Cambyses, the Persian. This tradition would justify the portrayal of Buddha with woolly hair. Historical documents do not invalidate this tradition. This is Sheikh Anta Diop. There is general agreement today on placing the 6th century, not only Buddha, but the whole religious and philosophical movement in Asia, with Confucius in China, Zoroaster in Iran. This would confirm the hypothesis of a dispersion of ancient Kemetic priests at that time, spreading their doctrine in Asia. Think about that. Go to this website and read more about this. Then why not go back to the source instead of getting wound up in all these byways? This is not our way. We have a way of life. Buddhism is a bastardized ancient Cushitic Hamitic way of thinking. If you read Muhammad Ashby's book, The Ancient Egyptian Buddha, he will explain it. If you go to this website, Daily News Ancient Egypt Secrets Roots of Yoga, you find the explanations there. Clear cut, no two ways about it. Now think about this. Evidence shows that the first statues of Buddha was that of a black-skinned, woolly-haired man with clearly African features. And then they change it. They change him, and now he's a fat Buddha. They change him. He says here, no other race on the face of the earth will worship a deity that doesn't reflect or look like them or their culture, except our melanin-dominant human beings. In Chikaranga, yoga or meditation, that you say meditation is ega yedwa in Ndebele. In Chikaranga and Nguni, this means alone, doing your own thinking, imagination, or even interacting with your ancestors or divinities alone. Let's look at African traditional systems scattered all over the earth. All over the earth. They became fragmented, tribally divisive, patriarchally narrowed. Then we became too nice, even to the point of welcoming those that are colonizing and enslaving us and calling them citizens of countries where we are, with the borders drawn by them, and our own brothers, we call them foreigners. This is what happened. The Ifa practitioner used to be superior to anyone on earth, including Hamitic priest teachers. But today, they have lost their profundity at the hands of corrupt slave trading Yoruba priest kings. Now, when they have a problem in life, they base their decisions on the random placing of objects in a tray and believe in animal sacrifices, rituals, and the like, thinking that they will solve their problems instead of using critical thinking and putting the car in our wheel or in their wheel. This is a teaching that we get from this website. Go to this website and read more. There's more stuff there. This corruption has spread throughout all the once divine African traditional systems. Here's the key and the clue how it has spread there. You will find that our African teachers today, melanin dominant teachers today, priests and healers and spiritualists, they charge you money. They charge you money for spiritual services, which they received freely as a gift, and they corrupt it. Meanwhile, the European money and banking system owners are laughing at our reliance on standardizing our spirituality using their God-infused paper-fiat money. We are powerless. That's why they are conquering us left, right, and center. We are powerless in their face because we say in God, we trust in their God who is not our own. These corrupted African traditional systems will lose out and fade. They will fade. Millions of melanin dominant human beings today are experiencing a fully restored usefulness through the Cushitic Kemetic system, We have been reborn today and imbued with a non-tribal affiliation with all Africa and other awakened melanin-dominant human beings in other continents. The ability of the Cushitic Kemetic system in washing us clean in a new rebirth with full resurrection makes it the only one religion or philosophy or spirituality that will unify us and give us power, as long as we keep our will in our car until the day we pass on the earth. Afro salvation will become ours, and the shatter will be stripped and driven away, and we become kings and queens and rulers again. We go to this website on Facebook, Kut to the Point Salon. Salvation is the freeing of the soul from its bodily fetters, becoming a God through knowledge and wisdom, controlling the forces of the cosmos instead of being a slave to them, subduing the lower nature, and through awakening the higher self, ending the cycle of rebirth, and dwelling with natures who direct and control the great plan. Think about that. You can go to this Pinterest and also visit Emara Himotep, who teaches that the oldest book in the world is an African book called Parutema Hore, which means becoming awake. According to the Kemetic spirituality, the uninitiated, unhealed person is in a perpetual state of trance with elements or ways of thinking, emotion, desiring, and capabilities that define his or her personality, the ego. So the awakening is a way of detrancing or dehypnotizing consciousness away from the personality in order to re-establish the identity or a connection with the divine self that then feeds to all the netters and our ancestors. How powerful can you reason and see reality? Christians believe in Jesus. They think that is a savior and the only way to salvation. And while he waits, the Christian, or she waits, the Christian, they wonder why they are still enslaved and suffering under the control and rule of a small elite. Cushitic Kemetic system says, you are God. You are a divinity. And so you are your own savior. God does not act for you. You act for God. Think about that. This is how you become an Ausarije, the living divinity through you, a material being. System is from your dependence on external saviors, fictional nirvana, escapism, and priests that claim you must pay them large sums of money and conduct expensive sacrifice to communicate and receive benefits from God. You can't. This Christianity is not our way. It's not the best. What about Judaism and Hebrew Israelites who think that they are God's favorite and chosen people? The Jew or Hebrew Israelite believes that their God is vengeful and has favorites and has poured Deuteronomic and Levitical curses on him to suffer and to live a life of difficulties, as they read in Deuteronomy 28. They think that they are chosen people. And by giving God such human qualities of vengefulness, anger, and grudges, they immediately forfeit the divine perfection of a creator, otherwise who would be understood as a non-being, non-spirit, something beyond our physical life and physical mind to conceptualize. Yahweh is an unworthy model for divine behavior. Thus, modeling yourself or themselves after an imperfect Yahweh, they become narrow-minded, full of hate. Hermetic case theology fills their reasoning, prone to jealous, prejudice, vengeful thinking, materialism, and injustice. Therefore, Judaism is incapable of providing a world of prosperity and peace for all humanity. It is not the best. It is not ours forever. Which one is the best for you then? We have already seen that the big four religions of Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, are fragmented, compartmentalized versions of the ritualized components of ancient Hamitic, Cushitic mystery system. Here is the proof. You cannot deny this. It is only therefore the Cushitic Hamitic system that can not only say you are an image of God, but that you are God living through mankind. We are using God in the definition of Hamit, a deity, a divinity, a neta or a nature, a principle that sustains the universe, or principles that sustains this universe, not the creator. No, we are not even near that. It is the freedom and self-reliance of the Cushitic Kemetic system that makes it not only superior, but the only system that will rescue our race from our dilapidated condition as we effectively practice Ubuntu Ma'ati culture, far from all these other copies that we have been talking about. All these. If you want to learn some more and you want to become involved, send an email to join@marfado.com and visit our website and connect with us on our app. This preacher Rabbi Elam Dumizulu saying, let us share, let us experience and create a new life today and now for the ever-living words passed to us by our wise ancestors from Cushitic, Hamitic, ancient Ma'ati Ubuntu philosophy. Tatenda, Siabonga, Edupe, Enkos, Asante Sana.